Coming up next, air travelers are caught in the fallout from the government shutdown. We have the latest.
Plus, the effort to help thousands in our area affected by federal food aid cutbacks.
I mean, literally anything helps right now, and you never know what that's going to do for someone's day.
And a film festival returns to our area, bringing movies and filmmakers from around the world. The Center County Report starts now. Good afternoon, I'm Morgan Supas.
And I'm Nolan Collery. Thank you for joining us for the Center County Report. We begin with some breaking news. It's day 38 of the federal government shutdown, the longest in U.S. history. As talks continue, unprecedented cuts to airline flights are in effect as of today. Airlines and passengers are scrambling to adjust plans after the FAA announced it's cutting back air travel capacity by 10% in 40 busy markets. That includes connecting hubs served by State College Airport, Philadelphia, Chicago, and Washington. The Trump administration says those cuts are needed to reduce stress on air traffic controllers who are working without pay.
The shutdown is also affecting thousands of people in our area who depend on federal aid to feed their families. There's been a legal fight over suspending those benefits. Reporter Emma Goldkoff is live in our studio with more. Emma?
Morgan, as the government shutdown begins to have more serious impacts, organizations like food banks and charities are stepping in to help. Even a restaurant chain is giving a helping hand here in Center County. The Domino's on Westerly Parkway in State College is starting a new campaign. It's called A Slice of Kindness. Anyone who presents their EBT card at the counter can get a free large pizza, no purchase necessary.
We're averaging 20 to 30 on the weekdays. We've helped over 100 families so far.
Part of the fallout from the government shutdown has been cuts to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. This week, 2 federal judges ruled the Trump administration has to use emergency contingency funds to fund SNAP. The administration is responding by providing partial benefits for November. The change means a family of 4 in the lower 48 states will receive about $646 for the month.
Partially funded is not enough, in my opinion. Until we know that our community is doing well and they have their funds back, we're going to keep doing this.
Domino's is also partnering with the State College Food Bank for food donations, with drop-offs slated for every Thursday.
Literally anything helps right now, and you never know what that's going to do for someone's day.
And just last night, a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to fully fund SNAP by today, criticizing the decision to only partially fund it. The Trump administration filed a motion to appeal, saying the best way to fund SNAP is for Democrats to vote to open the government. I'm Emma Goldkoff. Back to you.
Thanks, Emma. Also today, the 4-month Pennsylvania state budget standoff continues with no end in sight. Alec Brown reports.
Can't be holding people hostage, and that's what we're doing right now.
State Representative Scott Conklin didn't hold back when talking about the state budget impasse, which has already dragged on for over 4 months. The Pennsylvania Treasurer's Office says it's already given out $21 million in loans to 4 dozen organizations trying to stay open during the standoff.
People are really feeling it. We're having to rely on private donations.
Sonia Kaufman from State Representative Paul Takak's office says it's getting tougher.
People are turning to food banks, but food banks don't have as much food or money because of what's going on with the state and what's going on federally. So people are really, really hungry.
But it's school districts in Pennsylvania like State College that could be hit even harder if the impasse continues for much longer.
There are school districts that are talking about potentially going to 3-day school weeks, moving to virtual.
Kevin Busher with the PA School Board Association says some schools have already taken out multiple loans to cover expenses. The Philadelphia School District voted to borrow $1.5 billion to stay afloat, according to the Philadelphia Inquirer. The State Education Association says the issue is causing some districts to miss payments, but the impact goes beyond money.
Will the money flow immediately? Absolutely, when we get a budget done. What will be the downstream impact? I think we're going to see significant learning loss.
There are still ongoing talks in the Senate about ending the stalemate, but Conklin says he doesn't have much confidence.
Monday, I got an email from my leadership saying the Senate's going to pass something out. Be ready to come to work on Wednesday. The Senate didn't give us anything.
Pennsylvania is now closing in on 130 days without a budget.
Neither legislative chamber is due to return for voting sessions until November 17th.
This week, voters across Pennsylvania made their way to the polls for an important off-year election. Reporter Danielle Dempsey says it was one of the busiest municipal elections in years.
Election day in many parts of Pennsylvania brought out more voters than a typical off-year election. Voters made decisions on races from local school board seats to an important Pennsylvania Supreme Court retention election.
I'm here in front of Heritage Hall, where many Penn State students have been able to make their voices heard without having to leave campus.
Nonpartisan organization Penn State Votes had student volunteers answering questions and promoting civic engagement.
I think the turnout's been pretty good, seeing students come out for the local elections. A lot of the time we'll see like a lower turnout for local elections because people might think that it's not as important, but the goal of Penn State Votes is to always share the importance of every election.
Penn State College Democrats and College Republicans also set up tables to engage with voters on either side of the aisle. Both presidents stressed the importance of this off-year election, especially the top-of-the-ticket question on justice retention. Results show all 3 Democratic justices were retained.
This is a huge election with the Supreme Court because, I mean, with things that Donald Trump's doing right now, like the Supreme Court of PA is basically the ones that are kind of shielding us.
They're not having the best interests of the Pennsylvania people in mind, and we want to see new justices that are going to follow the Pennsylvania Constitution.
A line formed as students waited to cast their ballots.
Me being a law student in particular, I think I'm definitely here because of the judicial aspect of things. Courts are very important. They shape our lives every day, the laws we live by. So it's very important to elect your superior Supreme Court judges.
The little guys matter, and it's not always just the big names that we need to be putting effort into, and that we need to have a lot more attention and understanding of how systems work, that everybody plays a part.
I want to vote for the future of our country and what's going to be decided on in these upcoming elections, and I think this Supreme Court race here in PA is a big deal for those upcoming elections.
In University Park, I'm Danielle Dempsey for the Center County Report.
Pennsylvania voters retained Supreme Court Justices Kevin Dougherty, Kristen Donahue, and David Wecht to keep the state's 5-2 Democratic majority.
2 different U.S. courts have ruled against the deportation of a state college man who spent 4 decades in prison for a murder he did not commit. 64-year-old Subu Vadam was convicted in 1983, but was freed last month after new evidence surfaced in the case. He was immediately taken into custody by ICE, which wants to deport him to his native India.
A conservative student organization is suing Penn State University. Uncensored America has filed a lawsuit claiming the university violated the group's constitutional rights through, quote, systematic suppression of protected speech. The group says 2 of its events on campus were unfairly restricted, effectively censoring their views.
The death toll is now up to 13 people after a UPS plane crashed at the Louisville, Kentucky airport. Stunning video of the crash and aftermath on Tuesday shows the devastation. Surveillance video shows the jet crashing and bursting into flames. The initial investigation shows the left wing caught on fire before falling off. Officials say there are still people missing.
Pittsburgh-based U.S. Steel has detailed a billion-dollar growth plan with new owner Nippon Steel. It includes modernizing the century-old steelmaker. The announcement comes 5 months after Nippon finalized a partnership with the company in a deal worth nearly $15 billion. Nippon agreed to invest $11 billion to upgrade U.S. Steel's facilities. The plan also includes initiatives to save money.
Still to come on the Center County Report, a blast of cold is on the way. We check the 7-day forecast.
And an effort to rebuild a historic Center County building after a devastating fire. Also coming up, movies and filmmakers from around the world are headed to State College for a popular area annual event.
It's been almost a month since the historic Woodward Inn in Haines Township burned down. Despite the extensive damage, Corby and Melissa Stover say they're optimistic about a rebuild. A GoFundMe has already raised over $10,000. The inn's second restoration will begin with the demolition of the remaining structure down to its stone frame. It's estimated to cost $125,000.
Next week, Center County again turns into Hollywood East as the Center Film Festival opens. Reporter Andrew Matz is live in State College with the story. Andrew?
Thanks, Nolan. I am inside the State Theater, which will be screening films during next week's Center Film Festival starting on Monday. There is plenty to look forward to this year. People will have the opportunity to see plenty of films, and some big names in the industry will be getting awards.
Filmmakers from around the world will converge on Center County next week. The 7th annual Center Film Festival begins Monday in State College and Phillipsburg.
Most excited for just seeing all the films. I'm trying to see as many as I can.
The event includes 90 films making Pennsylvania premieres, about a quarter of them made in our state. 18 other films will make their world premieres, and 3 have even been submitted for Academy Award considerations. Festival co-founder Pearl Gluck says many of the filmmakers will host sessions to help the next generation.
The Meet the Guest section is probably the most important section if you are trying to figure out how this industry functions.
Films will be shown at locations throughout Center County, including the State Theater, Carnegie Cinema, Paternal Library, UEC Theater 12, and the 108-year-old Roland Theater. The Roland Theater right here behind me has been a staple of the Phillipsburg community since 1917. The Center Film Fest decided to host its awards in this historic location to honor 2 distinguished Penn State alums in the film industry. Legendary retired Saturday Night Live director Don Roy King will receive the Lifetime Achievement Award.
He got his start right here, what was then called WPSX and is now called WPSU. So I think it's such a great, holistic way of doing our awards.
Jerry Johnson is getting the Chandler Living Legacy Award.
She is on the younger side in her career in terms of getting an award like this, but that is exactly why we give that award. It's for somebody that uses their arts for activism.
The festival begins with opening night events on Monday night.
Another honor will be given out for the first time this year. It is called the Keystone Visionary Award, and it is going to State Senator Cameron Bartolotta. I'm Andrew Matz inside the State Theater. Now, let's check the weather outside.
Thank you so much for that, Andrew. Right now, we're looking at some pretty overcast conditions for much of State College. Right now over Beaver Stadium, again, you can see not much sun is going to be peeking on throughout the day today. We're looking at a current degree of 50 degrees right now. With that, feels like a 50 as well. Dew point only at around 28, so a bit on the drier side here. But we have some pretty excessive winds coming in from the southwest at around 13 miles per hour, and that's going to continue throughout the rest of the day as well. Temperatures over the central region of Pennsylvania sitting in the 50s throughout many places. We're going to see that trend continue into the rest of the state as well. Pittsburgh metro region and the Philadelphia metro region are going to be our 2 outliers, already creeping their way into the 60-degree threshold mark for today. Now, a bit of a recap on our radar and satellite imagery. We have this very thin line of intense showers swiping its way across, already entering the northwestern region of Pennsylvania, and they're going to continue to slide across the rest of the state as we move throughout the rest of the day, as you can see here. Impacting Center County by late afternoon and early evening. These showers will continue to move through the rest of the state, but eventually leave their way off the coast, last impacting the Delaware Valley region in the southeast, but eventually making their way off into the Atlantic just in time for game day, that noon kickoff tomorrow. Looking at clear precipitation-wise, a bit of cloudy skies remaining over top of Center County, but those clouds will continue to build in as we have our next low-pressure system slowly impacting the region. Take a bit of a wider look here. As you can see, we have some showers slowly entering the northern tier of Pennsylvania Saturday evening, but overnight into Sundays when we start seeing this real system start to make a bit of an impact here. Sunday, we have a warm front to our north, perfectly draping the northern tier of Pennsylvania, and a cold front just to our west. That's going to be placing us right in the warm sector. So we have a lot of that warm air coming for that fuel for that liquid precipitation. However, as this system continues to develop and merge off into the northeastern region, we do see this cooler air from the north coming, and we have a very large low pressure system and a large trough sliding in from the north, bringing a lot of that cooler air, potentially bringing the first flakes of this winter season here for many in Pennsylvania, potentially even here in State College as well. We could be seeing that first trace of snow as well. Precipitation-wise, though, only looking around a quarter of an inch to half an inch for many before that snow begins to make its way on through. And by Wednesday, we do see that system eventually slide its way off the coast, no longer impacting us here in Pennsylvania. But for the rest of the day, those cloudy and overcast conditions will persist with some pretty gusty winds as well, potentially upwards of 20 miles per hour, looking at a high of around 60 degrees today as well. Later on this evening, a low of 44 degrees with those lingering evening showers continuing as winds calm down ever so slightly at around 5 to 8 miles miles per hour. And into tomorrow for the game time, we're going to be seeing those skies clear up ever so slightly, looking at a high of 59. So that mix of sun and clouds, calm winds for game time though. But as you look at the 7-day forecast, that cold front bringing us our first potential flakes. You're going to be seeing temperatures dip well below freezing, especially in those overnight conditions, looking in the mid to upper 20s overnight. So definitely going to be a bit of a chill before we see those temperatures rebound back into seasonable for the later of midweek.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the first little bits of snow. I'm excited to get, my winter coat out, my boots. I know a lot of people don't like the colder weather, but I'm actually like super pumped.
I'm also a big fan of the snow, but this weekend definitely going to want it to hold over. There's a lot of events going on in State College. This weekend, Beaver Stadium will put on a special holiday event. On Sunday, the Roar Plus Athletics digital subscription platform will host its first holiday photo experience. You'll have a chance to step onto the field for a themed photo session from noon until 3. The cost per photo is $95. Roar Plus members receive one free photo and a complimentary football ornament when they subscribe for 1 year. Now, here's Maya with sports.
Thanks, Nolan. Coming up, for the first time in nearly a month, Penn State football is back in Beaver Stadium. But they have another very big challenge to face. Also ahead, Nittany Lion men's basketball is searching for its second win of the season after an opening night victory. Those stories and more are next. I'm Maya Beeling with sports. The Nittany Lions hope the old saying, "Home sweet home," will be true tomorrow. After losing to the top-ranked Buckeyes in Columbus last weekend, they now face number 2-ranked Indiana. It's the first home game since Coach James Franklin was fired. After a beatdown by the Buckeyes in Columbus, the Nittany Lions return home to host the second-ranked Hoosiers in Happy Valley. Penn State is looking for its first win since September 13th.
It's home field advantage. It's Beaver Stadium. It's where we should be cheered, and we welcome a great crowd and great intensity from the crowd to help us, push forward to victory.
Tight end Khalil Dinkins says the team is looking forward to coming home, and they're trying not to let a 5-game losing streak discourage them.
I know the season isn't going like how we had hoped for, but I think we're doing a good job of just staying motivated and just keep working every day.
This will be the first home game where James Franklin is not leading the team onto the field.
We still got a game to play, so it's we got to do all the same things other than the fact that we're not going to have James.
Kicker Ryan Barker says with Smith in the head coach position, the team has been getting the tough love they need.
He'll tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, and I think that can be tough on some guys, but that's what everyone needs to hear to get better.
Smith may be a tough coach, but says he's proud of the work the players are putting in, especially before taking on yet another top 5 team.
Yesterday was a great practice. Today was a great practice. These guys are working hard.
Kickoff for tomorrow's game is at noon, and you can listen live on Penn State Com Radio with our broadcast team at Beaver Stadium. Now over to the second round of high school football playoffs. Marion Center heads to Johnstown tonight to take on the unbeaten Bishop McCourt. The winner takes on either Richland or Bellwood Antis. Juniata and Bellefonte head to Mifflin County for the District 6 4A championship. The champion will take on the winner of Shamokin and the Jersey Shore matchup. Tomorrow, Bishop Guilfoyle kicks off against Homer Center in Hollidaysburg. The winner takes on Juniata Valley or Claysburg Kimmel. And the 8-2 State College Little Lions make their 3+ hour drive to Erie to take on McDowell. That winner takes on either Wilkes-Barre or Williamsport. Penn State men's basketball is hitting the road for the first time this season. The Nittany Lions play New Haven tomorrow. On Monday, Penn State started its season with a 76-68 win over Fairfield. A strong closing stretch made that possible by limiting the Stags to just 2 points in the last 3.5 minutes of the game. Melly Tunja scored 19 points coming off of the bench and connected well with Caden Mingo, who added 15. Mingo is the highest-rated prospect Penn State has ever rostered. On Tuesday, Penn State will be back home against Navy. Now to hit the ice. After sweeping Ohio State to open the Big Ten Conference play, Penn State men's hockey is ranked 3rd in the nation and is in East Lansing to take on number 1 Michigan State tonight. And the women's team gets a well-earned rest with a bye week this week. After the team's historic program best of 12-0 start has the team ranked 6th in the nation. They return to Pagula next weekend to take on Syracuse. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm curious to see if this home field advantage will really benefit the Penn State football team.
It's going to be a tough test. It has been an absolutely brutal stretch for the Nittany Lions as of late, needing to play in Columbus against the #1 team in the nation last week. Now playing in State College, sure, but against the #2 team in the nation. That home field advantage is really going to need to do something special if the Nittany Lions want a chance in this one.
And I'm interested to see how they play. First home game without Franklin, new coach, maybe a new vibe, so we'll see how they do. Thanks, Maya. Coming up next, your old Halloween pumpkins can serve a whole new purpose in Center County. More details after the break. Halloween is over, but those leftover pumpkins don't have to go to waste. Reporter Hope Green shows you where they're going to a good cause.
One man's Halloween trash is another man's treasure, or in this case, an animal's tasty treat. In Spring Mill's Living Faith Acres homestead is encouraging people to donate their Halloween pumpkins to feed the animals.
How do the animals react to this?
They love it.
Jessica Shaver is a co-owner of Living Faith Acres. She says the pumpkins don't just taste good, they also provide important nutrients that help keep her animals healthy.
It's a good source of energy and proteins and stuff in the fall, and it's actually a natural anti-parasitic.
Your pumpkins are more than a decoration. They serve as a nutritional value for animals here, like pigs, cows, and goats. And the farmers here say that it helps to cut down on food waste and feed costs.
And there are other benefits too.
With them being a dewormer, you don't pay for that extra cost to worm the animals and stuff as much as you normally would.
So before you toss out that old jack-o'-lantern, consider stopping by Living Faith Acres to give Jack a second life. The animals will thank you for it. In Spring Mills, I'm Hope Green for the Center County Report.
And you can donate your pumpkins anytime by contacting Living Faith Acres by Facebook, email, or phone. Well, I know where I'm going to be sending my old pumpkin.
Yeah, I've got a roommate still holding on to the pumpkin. Maybe I'll send him that way. That's all we have for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us Tuesday for our next local news update.
But you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X. You can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a good weekend.